Bonjour, hola, konnichiwa, annyeonghaseyo, ni hao. My name is Cynthia Chandra, and I am an internationally trained artist. I have shown my art in Japan, UK, France, and USA. My passion is to encourage artists to grow and thrive in their creative soul. This world needs to see your unique perspective. I want to give you the skills and techniques to connect you with your own creativity and the tools you need to express your beautiful soul. I donate 10% back to animal rescues to protect our beautiful world that has inspired my art. Hello everyone, my name is Cynthia Chandra and I'm from Cynthia Chandra Nature Art for Animal Rescues. I'm coming to you live from my studio, which also happens to be my dining room. I am a fine artist, and for those of you who've never met me before, I really enjoy painting nature and wildlife, and I really love giving back to nature, and I love giving back to animal rescues. So I do donate 10% to animal rescues, and I do 100% donations during my auctions for emergency rescue relief. So like for bushfires or the fires recently in California. So that's where my heart is. I really love using my art, and I feel really blessed to use my art to give back to them. So I'm going to get started with our drawing today. I've been doing 10 days to learn to draw, and today or tomorrow is actually day 10 of that. So we just did a huge drawing challenge with them, and they did really well. I'm really excited for some of the images the students made. And I will be starting another drawing challenge coming up soon, which will be for learning to draw, specifically learning to draw real life. So I'm learning to draw the human figure and learning to draw animals, which is what I love. So I would love to say hi to you guys in the comments. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. I don't know which animal you guys want to learn how to draw today, so I'm going to give you a couple of options. If you would like to draw a panda or a penguin or a kangaroo or a sea turtle, go ahead and tell me. And the first one that I see is what we'll draw for today. So a penguin. I have like a really cute idea of two penguins holding hands together. So a penguin, a panda, a kangaroo, or a sea turtle. Oh, sea turtle. Okay, so we're gonna draw a sea turtle today. Let me pull up a picture of a sea turtle for myself to reference here, and then we can go ahead and get started. Thank you guys so much for having me here. I love seeing your creations and getting a chance to show other people how to draw. A lot of people are intimidated by drawing real life, and I think it's just because we always think that you have to be like super artistic, but it really is all about breaking down things into shapes. So if you know your shapes, you'll be able to draw. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry your internet's not working. Oh, you'll have to catch the replay tomorrow. Okay, let's go ahead and get started here. The first thing that we're going to need to draw is an oval shape. So I'm going to use my pencil and see if it will show up. Sometimes with my lighting, it doesn't show up the right way. So we're going to make our nice big oval shape. And as you notice, I kind of made it a little thicker towards the one side and thinner towards the other side. If you do need to draw an oval shape and then draw it thinner on one side, you definitely can. So if you did draw your oval shape, you can go ahead and erase that exterior line if you did need to draw a full oval shape to get started. So I just did a really cool sea turtle painting actually that had the whole coral reef, and like it also had some fish on the back of it. It's big. It's like 30 inches by 40 inches, I think. It's really cool. It's in my bedroom. So now we are going to add the pointed tail portion of the shell. So as you can see, it's just adding that point, almost like an equilateral triangle if you need to break it down. So after you add that point, you can go ahead and erase this extra line. And then we can get ready to do the next thing. So this will be up for replay. If I am going fast for you, you are welcome to pause it and keep watching. And also, when we're drawing nature, nature is not straight. Nature is not perfect. They are all very unique, and they have their own dents, they have their own bruises, they have their own scarring. So when we're drawing nature, the more imperfect our lines are, the more realistic it looks. So don't feel like you have to make perfectly straight lines to do this, especially when you're drawing nature. That's my secret. That's why I do nature. Remember Tommy the turtle? Yes. Aw. Oh, she says that she does art quilts with sea turtles painted on them. That is so neat. That would be really pretty. Okay, so now we're going to work on some fins. And to do our fin shape, if you need to practice on another part of your paper, remember this is a sketch, so you can draw in other places. You are going to make a teardrop shape. So let me show you one more time for a teardrop shape. It's kind of rounded like a V, the other side. So that's what shape our fin is going to be on this side. So you're going to make your teardrop shape. And then you can erase that edge right there. So you can see the teardrop shape is there, and I just added a little bit up to make the limb, where it connects, I guess, underneath the shell. So then the shell's going to go over top of it, and you're going to do an arc. It's like a rainbow shape, but a little bit flattened for your arc. And then we're going to do the teardrop shape back here as well, but it's going to be covered by your shell a little bit. So in order to create the illusion that it's behind the shell, we're just going to erase that little part of it right there. Now it looks like it's back there behind a shell swimming away. Okay, so for the next part, we are going to make another teardrop shape, but first we're going to connect it. So we're going to build out a little bit of the fin. Hello. Terry's having me on as a guest today, in case you're confused while I'm here. My name's Cynthia Chandra. So you're going to build out, it's kind of like a nice rectangle shape right there. If you need to draw your rectangle, you can, and then erase your lines. My problem is that I erase too much, and this is what my erasers look like towards the end. Nothing. So you have your jutting out part of your fin, and now we're going to do that teardrop shape again that we practiced down here, but it's going to be out a little bit. So another way of thinking of it is we're taking it and curving it a little bit. So if you need to draw your teardrop shape and then draw a little bit of a curve back, and erase the line, you can. Okay, so now that we have that drawn, we're going to erase this connecting line here, our guide line. We have a nice little fin up there. And then back here, we're going to have part of our fin coming up and a little bit back. So let me break that down for you. You're going to have your oval, I guess it's like a half oval shape coming up, and then that rounded teardrop shape over top of it. And then you can erase your guidelines. So you have that rounded shape. You have like the whole oval would look like that. And then your teardrop shape. Okay, so our next thing we're going to draw is our head. And now our head is going to be a nice big oval shape in the front. It's going to be kind of like a shortened oval though, kind of chunky and fat, nice big old head. And then you're going to erase that line of the shell that you won't see anymore. And the fun part about sea turtles is drawing their mouth, I think. So when we draw the mouth, you're going to come down, make that upper lip, comes back, and you can give it a little bit of a smile right there. Come up just a little bit to make him look happy. Unless you want him to be a grumpy sea turtle, that's totally fine too. This is your piece, so you can make him as expressive as you want, right? And now we are going to add our eye. So our eyes are circular inside of their socket, but what we see of them is a pointed oval shape. So what I do for eyes is I come up rounded and I come down rounded, and I meet them at a point. So if you need to practice that on a different space, you can. Up rounded, down rounded, and meet them at a point. So now I'm going to add that here. And their eyes are relatively big, actually. I think that's so that they can avoid predators. So up rounded, down rounded. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add that lid onto it. And the lid is just a curved line that comes back. And then we can add our eye looking forward. Leave a little space for some light to reflect off of it. And you can fill in that circle. But make sure you leave that little space of white where the light is reflecting off of it. And that'll help make it look, it gets wet and rounded. And if you want to come in and round it off a little bit here, you can too. So you can see I just took a little bit of shading into that area, and then I darkened it in, but left that little bit of white where the light is hitting it. I'm losing the microphone. I love turtles. We inherited my nephew's turtles whenever They passed. Oh, I'm so sorry about to hear that. Their names were Leonardo and Michelangelo. That is so cute. Oh my goodness, that's so adorable. Aww. So the next part we're going to draw is where the neck is connected. So we're going to kind of follow this line, the shape of this line here. Sorry, my camera stopped for a second. We're going to follow this line here, follow this shape, and then we're going to draw its neck in here, inside of the shell. And the next thing that we're going to do is really make the shell look realistic. So we're going to come down, round off this corner, make it a little bit darker, round off this corner, make it a little darker. I'm going to make this darker down in here, down in there. Okay, so now we have our nice little shell, and wherever the arms come up, there's always this little bit of a circular rounded area to kind of add a fun little detail. And then down here, we also have another fun rounded area. Okay, so now is our fun part. So it is totally up to you. If you want to make this turtle look realistic, you absolutely can. If you want to do what I like to call Zen art, which is taking and adding fun designs to your piece and really just like playing around with shapes, you can do that too. I'm going to show you the two different ways you can approach this. So one way is you pick where you want your light to come from. So let's say we want our light to come from this way. Yay, sunshine! Coming down through the ocean. And then everything that's below will be shaded in. So you'll have like shadow down here, shadow over here, shadow down here. And then we can add our shelling into here. So either way, you're going to do the shelling. So the shell is going to be rounded shapes that kind of follow the same line. And you don't have to make them all uniform or the same shape. So what I'm doing is every time that they come close to each other, I kind of give them a little bit of space and have their own little area. And let's pretend it comes to a corner here. I kind of follow these lines, just like if you were tracing a little bit further away. So anytime that it's next to another line, I kind of mimic that line. So I'm going to mimic that weird line that I accidentally made. And anytime that we're doing this, and it adds like a little bit of imperfection, it makes it look more realistic, which is really neat. Okay, so you can make these spots in your shell however you would like. You can be as creative as you want to with them. I think I'm going to add like an extra side on that one. That looks pretty nifty. Maybe I'll do another one with a weird side here. That's pretty fun. Okay, now I'm going to come in and fill in those spaces. You want to think about how things kind of grow together. Like if we look at the wrinkles on our hands, the lines will mimic each other. So you see they kind of go in the same pattern. We're going to be doing the same thing with our shell. As things grow near each other, they kind of follow a similar pattern with each other. And there's no rhyme or reason sometimes to it. Just kind of adding some fun shapes. And the more imperfect it is, the more realistic it looks. Okay, so once you have some really fun shapes in here, you're going to take and round it out on the bottom. And round it out down here. Give it that nice texture at the bottom of the shell. All right, so this is the part where you get to pick if you want to make it look realistic or if you want to make it look more like Zen art. So I'm going to show you how to do the Zen art part. With Zen art, you take patterns and take shapes, and you can make them however you want to. So if you want to take, for instance, the starburst pattern, you can. Or if you wanted to do zigzag pattern inside of it, you can. Or if you wanted to do swirls in another space, you can. So if you're doing the Zen art with me, just be as creative as you want to. Kind of fill in each space and make them unique and beautiful in their own way. Another thing I like to do sometimes is for my Zen art, I like to do a floral design with lots of different flowers on it. I actually started doing Zen art in college when I was sitting and taking notes, and I would just keep doodling and doodling and doodling. And one time somebody said, "That looks like a giraffe." And I was like, okay. And I didn't really think it looked like a giraffe. I was just doodling flowers and like silly shapes. And I looked at it later and I definitely saw the giraffe. So then I started like making animals like that on my paper, which is really fun. And it's just kind of building patterns out. I think I might someday put out, I've seen like Zen art journals now. It's an actual thing that people do, which is so neat. But you can have different shapes and fill them in. So as you can see, it creates like this really neat shape, but all I'm doing is drawing like the simple flower pattern inside of it and the swirls. But when you look at it from far away, it looks really beautiful. So if you don't want to do the Zen art pattern, I'm going to show you how to color in your shells. So you're going to take from each corner, if you're not doing Zen art. If you're doing Zen art, go do your thing, love. Go have fun, make some cool shapes, make some zigzag patterns, have fun with it. But if you are going to make it look more realistic, you're going to come in from each corner and give it almost like a flat part at the top. So it can be like a square shape, a round shape. And then remember, our sun's coming from this way. So we're going to make it darker at the bottom, lighter towards the sun. Darker at the bottom, lighter towards the sun. Darker, lighter into towards the sun. Darker, lighter towards the sun. Darker, lighter towards the sun. Darker, lighter towards the sun. And that's how you're going to make it look more realistic whenever you are making your patterns on your turtles. I guess you can call these like scales on their shells. It's not really a scale though. That's how you add that little bit of texture to really make it look 3D and to really pop. My cat's walking through the room in case you guys didn't hear that. So if you want to make all of them look realistic like that, you definitely can. If not, you can keep going with your fun Zen patterns. So maybe like for this one, I'm going to do rounded shape here. Oh, I love this. It's so fun. Some circles in the middle. Rounded shape here. Circles in the middle. Rounded shape. Ooh, maybe I can do some circles in these middle parts too. Oh, that looks really pretty. Let me bring you down so you can see it a little closer. So I'm really just playing with these. Woohoo! You're going on an adventure. Sorry, guys. We're really just playing with some of these shapes. So maybe I want to do some filigree, mehendi-esque designs in here. I definitely can do that. Or maybe I want to add one that is entirely made out of circles. This is all about you having fun and making it your own. Taking time for yourself today to do something you usually wouldn't have. Maybe thinking about all the wonderful things you have in your life. I know a lot of people use Zen art as a way of being grateful. So each time they make a line, they think of something they're grateful for. It helps change their mindset. I know today I am definitely thankful for my son who makes me laugh. He went into a bubble bath today, so we got this really cool science project from my parents. We celebrated Christmas. We celebrated Christmas at my parents' house this past weekend, so we had a Valentine's Day / Christmas party with my mom and my dad and my grandpa. And while we were celebrating, they gave Alex his Christmas presents, and one of them was a science kit. So my son is 4 years old, and he took the science kit, and it has it's basically a baking soda ball, and then you put it in vinegar, and then the alien comes out, right? Well, there's 2 of these in the science kit. He used one with me with supervision. The other one, he decided that he was going to take into the bathtub afterwards. Oh my Lord. So whenever he's taking a bath, I usually am cleaning out the cupboards in the bathroom and doing other things because you're not allowed to leave them alone. And he's only 4. And I look over, and sure enough, this naked boy is running through the bathroom and dumps his little ball of science experiment into the bathtub. So he, oh my goodness, he makes me laugh. But so I had to empty out the bathtub and clean the bathtub. I was like, oh, child, so fun. But I'm so grateful for him. He makes my life. He makes my life entertaining. He brings me joy. He brings me laughter every day. So they're so funny. Kids are so funny. Okay, so just keep adding to your Zen art. Maybe say things that you're grateful for. It's just a great way to kind of take time to yourself for the day. can add some beautiful designs. Vicky says the kids put things in perspective, that's for sure. Definitely. They definitely do. They give life wonderful meaning. So let me think, what do I want to do in this space up here? Maybe, you know, it'd be fun since we are doing like an underwater thing. Maybe a cute little fish pattern would be neat here. And as you're doing this, if it's not perfect, it's totally fine. I keep making little mistakes with my fish. This is just for you. This is just for fun. It's not for anyone else. So just make it your own. Forgive yourself for little mistakes. Keep on going. As you can see, I use my eraser plenty. I've been trained 1, 2, 3, in 4 different countries. I've shown art in many different countries, and I live off my artwork sales, but look at my eraser. You know, we all make mistakes. It's totally fine to make mistakes. Sometimes mistakes are what make our pieces beautiful. You just gotta go with it. You love the doodle? Me too. I think it's just like one of those moments that we can just take time. I'm sorry, I don't have your name to say who you are. For some reason, it shows up as like Facebook user for me. That's okay though. Okay, so on to my last square over here. You just take your time filling these in. I am going to ask you to take a little bit of a break so that you know where we're going with our next step, our last couple of steps here. So with the sea turtle, they also have this protective shell. It's like bumps on their shell that goes onto their fins themselves. So you're going to add just a few of them, maybe like 2 or 3, coming down the arm, the fin, not the arm. I tend to personify things, tend to make them very human. I do that with my animals too. I talk to them just like they're my kids. So just put 2 or 3 on each of the legs. That'll really make it look like the turtle shell. And you can keep doing your patterning on these. You can add your patterning here. And then on his face itself, or her face, you're going to add a few more of these. And remember, the way that we make these is just by making basic shapes and then mirroring the lines between them to kind of almost make them echo back and forth with each other. Let me see, I think I'm going to add another row here. I have enough room for a row. If you don't have room, that's totally fine. You don't have to make another row. I think that this one needed it for mine because I did make it pretty large so you guys can see. Oh, would help if I actually showed it to you. There we go. You can believe it or not, I never did a live until probably like a year ago. Maybe like a year and 2 months ago. This has probably been a year and 2 months since I started going live. So It's still a learning process. There we go. That just adds a little bit of texture on it. Really makes them look realistic here. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I took you on a ride again. All right, so now you have your cute little turtle and you have your little pattern designs. You can keep making designs in here if you want to, or if you feel like you're finished, that's fine too. If you just want to do lighter patterns on the fins, that's fine. However you feel, whenever you feel like you're finished, make sure that you sign it. Even if you're not quite satisfied with exactly how your piece turned out, always sign it because you took time today to do something you usually wouldn't do for yourself. And you should be proud that you took time today to do something different and something new. So always sign your pieces. Even if you're not quite proud of it, be proud of yourself for trying and taking time. All right, everybody, thank you so much for having me. You'll see me popping in on the group to help out a little bit with Terry and help with some questions and things for you guys. Thank you so much for having me and welcoming me into your little family. I love it. If you need anything, you can always ask me too. I'd be happy to help. I hope you have a wonderful day. Continue to be kind to each other and continue to be your wonderful artistic selves. Bye, everyone.